Welcome back to Kalman Web Design. We're going to be prototyping the design that we made in our last video. If you missed that video, I go through an entire design showing you guys how to use the power of AI, Photoshop, and Adobe XD with everything that you need to know to make your own design. And keep in mind, this is the process that we use at Kalman Web Design if we would work with you as well. Leave a link to it up top right now and down below. I'm going to show you guys all the basics that you guys need to know about prototyping in Adobe XD, as well as some more advanced features like overlays and animations. All right, we have Adobe XD open, and as you can see, we have the website design from our last video. Again, link to that will be down below. And luckily for this design, I kept it pretty basic so I could show you guys everything we do at Kalman Web Design without taking up 8 hours of your time. So that's the reason it's pretty condensed here. Normally, if we get more advanced with e-commerce and stuff, it'll be a lot more pages, there'll be a lot more designs and stuff going on. But for this, we're keeping it basic on purpose. So what we want to do now, once you open Adobe XD, it right off the bat brings you into this design page. Now, what you want to do to prototype is click prototype. And so the first thing you want to do that I recommend, and I do this with every web design that I make, is start off by prototyping your navigation. It's the easiest thing to do. And keep in mind, okay, if you guys are familiar with components in Adobe XD, if you're not, go watch my last video because this will help you out a lot, is if you link to a page or another element from a component from that parent, it should work on all your other components. Sometimes it unfortunately doesn't work, so you want to make sure you verify everything and not just trust it. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So to start prototyping, you want to click the element that you want to select. So click this one. We don't want this whole navigation bar at the top to go anywhere. We just want our individual links to go places. So click in, and now we're on home, but this is already our home page, so we don't need to link back to our home page. What we want to do is select our menu and drag this and drop it on our menu page. And what you guys can do from here is you can select your trigger. So how do you want this to happen? On tap? Do you want to happen on drag, keys, and gamepad, or on voice? 95% of the time, you guys are just gonna do tap, okay? Sometimes drag comes into play. Then what it's gonna give you is action down here, and you're gonna have the type. You're gonna be able to select if you want this to be a transition to another page. That's what we're gonna want in this instance. If you're gonna wanna use the auto animate function, if you're gonna want this to be a hyperlink, and I'll show you guys what this, you can insert a URL right here and link to a separate page, or you guys can do an overlay, which is really useful. I'll show you guys how to use that later in the video. And then scroll to previous artboard, audio playback, speech playback. Again, probably 80 to 90% of the time, you're just gonna wanna do transition and keep it nice and simple. So for this, you also have the option to preserve scroll position. You don't wanna select that. There are some situations, but for this, go ahead and leave that alone. So this will show you your destination, which is Alvin's Pizza menu. If you wanna come back and change it later, you can change it from here, or you can come back and drag this to a new location like that. You can always change this. This is not set in stone. And then animation, it's set to none right now. You can do dissolve, slide left, slide right, slide up, and then you guys can go through the rest on your own. For this, we're just gonna want a simple dissolve. Again, 95% of the time you're going to use either none or dissolve. Those are by far the most popular and why they're up here at the top by themselves, separated out. And then what you guys want to do is select the easing. So I always just right off the bat like to switch it to ease in and out, because this will make sure it eases everywhere you go, in and out. And then duration, we want this to last not super long, so we're going to switch to 0.2 seconds instead of 0.3. And then you guys can add extra actions down here if you want, but we don't need an audio playback or a speech playback or anything like that. So we can get rid of that by clicking none. But sometimes that, not really that often, but it sometimes will be useful, and it's nice to know that you have that option. And then you also can add another interaction here, so you guys can change it like that. But for this instance, we don't want to use that. We want to go back, Control Z, and now we want to go ahead and continue linking up our menu here. drag this to our about. And then what's really nice about Adobe XD is it'll leave all the options that you selected in your last interaction window. So it'll keep our tap, transition. The only thing it's changing here is where it's actually going because we dragged it to that specific page, and then it'll keep dissolve, ease in out, and then duration 0.2. So that's something really important to keep in mind as you prototype with Adobe XD, is that it will automatically keep your last used presets. So keep that in mind. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this by dragging my order over here. And then what we can do is adjust this page and link our footer elements here. That's already home, so we don't need to really link that. You guys can link it back to the same page if you want, but it's really unnecessary, to be honest with you, because you're already on that page, obviously. And then we're gonna go ahead and link all of these. And then what we wanna do is we wanna make sure we have any buttons like this also linking to any page that we want it to go to. So now go to your next page. So what I want you guys to see here is see how some of our items are linked because we're working out of a component here. So, but see how our home page didn't link? We definitely want to link that up here, okay? So go ahead and link that home page and go ahead and select this, link that back. And then we want to go back to our home page and link our parent elements here back to our home page one more time. So just like that. Because again, you want to work from your parent component, not your child component at all times. Or see guys how it's not actually working. So sometimes you have to come in and verify this. So since we were working out of our parent over here, this one should link back to the home page over here, but it's not. So we want to go ahead and manually do that. All right guys, so now we have all our elements linking to the pages that we want them to link to. One last thing I want to show you guys is, I'm sure you guys noticed these elements down here that we didn't link anywhere. Again, this is a fictitious pizza place, but if you were doing this for a client, what you would want to do, go ahead and link this like so. Just link it to anything and then actually come back in and change it. So you want to leave that a tap, but what you want to do now is change the type from transition to hyperlink. So here is where you would actually put your client's Instagram or external link that you want them to link to. But again, in this case, we're not using a real business, so we'll just go ahead and not worry about that too much right now. But in real life, you definitely want to do that. Now we're going to go ahead and preview this prototype by hitting the play button in the top right corner up here like this, and this will actually open your page. And what we're going to do is we don't want to start on the order page, so whatever page you have selected, that's where you're going to start here. So we're going to go ahead and select our home page, and then we're going to go ahead and hit that play button again. And now you guys can see as we scroll down, we can see our entire website design here. I'm going to make this full screen. Don't worry about these black borders. That's not going to be in our final developed website. This is just for the design purpose. And now you guys can see that these are all active links where we can link to the menu. All right, and I'm going to go through and make sure all of these links work accurately. And you want to make sure you do that on your web design as well. Make sure every one of these links works properly, goes to the correct page, because you do not want to send anything inaccurate to your client for review, because then it just makes you look like a bad designer. You obviously don't want to look like that. Once you're done verifying everything, then go back to your web design and we're going to continue to prototype. And what I want to do next is show you guys the overlay option here. So what you want to do is copy your page over. This is how I like to do it. You can just make a whole new layout if you want, but this is just my preferred method. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything on this page like so. Everything's gone now. And then I'm going to go back to my design panel here, select my page, make this a lot smaller. This is going to be called Alvin's Pizza Order Thank You. And what we want to do, get our rectangle tool and come in here and add our little design that we're going to do. And this I like to just keep simple. It makes it look clean and it makes it friendly to the customer and for the user. So we want to shrink down our artboard a little bit to match the size of our component here. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. We're going to zoom in to make sure that this is perfectly aligned to our artboard. Make sure you select your artboard. and match this up perfectly to the pixel. You want to make sure your designs are as perfect as you can possibly get them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to select this, get rid of that border, change the fill to a light gray like so, and then opacity down here, we want to change this to about 75%. And then we want to select our text tool. I'm going to use this same font. Again, Alt, click, and drag to do this. And then we just want to type thank you. So now once you have that, I would probably make this a little bit bigger, but we're just going to leave it for now so I don't waste any more time in this video. We're going to hit prototype. And then what we want to do is on submit, we want this thank you message to display over our order page once somebody submits an order. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down here. Make sure you don't make this rookie mistake that a lot of people make. Don't select this, okay? Don't select your text. Make sure you select the button, because you want anywhere in the button is clicked that this overlay occurs. You don't want it to only be used on the text, because it makes it harder for the user to navigate, because they think, oh, I click right here, it'll work, but it doesn't. It only clicks. So make sure you select that whole button. We're gonna go ahead and link to this page now. And then what we're gonna do is change the type from transition to overlay like that. And it'll let you adjust where you have your overlay. I like to just leave this right in the center. And so now I wanna show you guys what this will actually do. Select my order page, go back to preview mode, and then as you guys can see, if I'm on this website and I'm looking at it and I go down here, you can't actually put any information in here because it's not a live website, right? It's just a design. But once you hit submit, that thank you message is gonna come up. It looks nice, it looks clean, and then if you click in it, it goes away, or if you click outside of it, it'll go away as well. This is just an overlay to thank our customer, and it will keep you from scrolling up and down. You can use this simple to use feature wherever you want throughout your website. This design tool in Adobe XD, to where you can actually add these overlays, is really helpful and really nice to have. So we're gonna go ahead and X out of that one more time. And then one last thing I wanna do is add one more overlay for when you hit add to cart. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this page again, Control Alt, and then I'm gonna put this down here just to make it easy for now, for easy reference, but I'll probably move it back over later. This is gonna be Alvin's Pizza, add to cart, added to cart. Move this up, order button here, and we're gonna hold Alt, drag it, and then what we want to do, and you can do this with this element because it's a child, make sure you're not editing your parent when you do this. Make sure you're editing your child. We're going to change this to complete order because we want to encourage that customer to actually go complete their order. And now what we're going to do is we are going to link this, each and every one of these add to cart buttons here, to our message here, added to cart, and make sure this is all centered correctly like so. And then we're going to go back to prototyping this. So what we're going to do is we are going to drag and drop like this. Make sure that's an overlay. And then we want that to be right in the center of our page. So now, since we used our parent element to do this, all of our add to cart buttons should be linking to this page. Let's go check our menu page now. So these are all linking back to our added to cart overlay here. So you guys see in that instance, it worked on all of our buttons here, but sometimes it doesn't always do that. So you want to make sure you go back and verify still. And now what we're going to do is we're going to link this one more time back to our order page, just like that. So now I want to show you guys what this is going to do. This is going to look really nice, really professional to your client. They're really going to like this feature because clients like to see everything built out in a design. It makes them feel a lot more comfortable with your service, especially if you're the designer and the developer for the website. Now what you want to do is go back to the preview button. So here you guys go. Now when we scroll down and hit add to cart, you're gonna get this right here, added to cart, complete order. And then the customer can either go back and continue shopping, or they can go complete their order right there. It'll take them right to their order page. Really easy to do, looks really professional. In my professional experience working with clients, they absolutely love seeing these kind of extra features because it shows that you went the extra mile and didn't just slap something together, send it out, here's what it's gonna look like, and didn't try and put in any extra time into it. When you prototype and add all these little features to this website, people are going to want to come back to you again and again for your services. So now I'll go back to design one time. I don't like the opacity of this, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this to 90%, and we're going to go take a look at how that will look in our live website. So go down here, hit add to cart, and now you can see added to cart, and it looks a little bit nicer and a little bit cleaner. And we can go back, complete our order, or we can go back to that, click on it one more time, and click out and continue shopping. Now let's go take a look at our menu page. It should work the exact same. So we click out, we can continue shopping, or we can go to our order page. So this, what I want to show you guys now is I'm actually going to post this online so you guys can go leave comments on this exact website design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit share, and you guys can copy this same method if you want to share this online with the client for them to review. And then I'm going to do Alvin's Pizzeria, that's going to be the link. Design review, you guys can change this to a few different options if you're working with developers or you want to present or whatever you're using this website for. Then you can change this to only invited people, anyone with password. I'm going to leave this to anyone with the link, so anybody watching this video can go rate this design, leave comments, leave me a bunch of hate mail, whatever you guys want to do is fine with me. Then go ahead and hit create link. And now that will generate a link to where you can actually go view this live on a website. Go ahead and hit copy link. Go ahead and open your browser and then enter that in. And I'll show you guys how this will actually look. So now you're working with a client. They can come in and actually preview this entire website design here, like so. And since this is new, it looks a little bit cloudy right now, but Adobe XD does that sometimes, where you just need to give it some time to update the link because it's brand new. And you guys can go in here and leave comments wherever you want. Leave a comment on the home page if you want to see a change. On the menu page, you can leave a comment there as well. Wherever you guys want to see a change, or you guys like something, don't like something, feel free to leave a comment. I will leave the link to this down below in the description so you guys can do so. So in real life, if you're a designer, you will take this link and share it with your client. They can pop this link into their browser, and now they have a whole space where they can come in, review this website design, and leave comments and do whatever they want to do. And you guys can come back through here, respond to the comments, look at the comments. And this is especially useful when you're working with those really busy clients that always seem like they have something going on. You guys can shoot them this link, and then they can just go in there and look at it whenever they have time and leave their comments. Clicking on your navigation like I am here, and then click fix position when scrolling, and then make sure you apply this to all of your pages like so. Again, if you're working out of the parent, it should update all the child components to when you're editing the parent component, but sometimes it doesn't, so you want to go back and verify for sure. Now we're going to go ahead and preview that. So now when we scroll down, okay, well now it's not working perfectly, but we need to go back and actually make that change. So again, this is why you want to preview everything to make sure that everything is working accurately. So what we want to do is, yes, we want that to be fixed, but we want the whole navigation bar to be fixed. So actually the issue that's going on here is not that this is actually working, but what we need to do is actually bring this all the way to the top like so, because these are your layers. So whatever's at the top will take precedence. Think of it like actual layers, like a layer of a cake. So anything at the top you're gonna see first, especially when you're using the fixed position when scrolling feature. So you wanna go through your website and make sure your navigation bar is all the way at the top like so. And then once you have it all updated, go ahead and hit preview again, and now it should work perfectly. So now we have our sticky menu function in here in this design, and this again would actually be developed into the website once we start developing it. I like to include sticky headers on all my designs because again, it's just a lot easier for the user to navigate when there's a sticky header. They don't have to scroll around looking for that navigation. It's with them at all times. It's proved to be really useful. So this is what I recommend. And then what you want to do is, since we already published that link, you want to make sure you update that link, because if you make changes, okay, and you don't hit update link, okay, you're going to send this link out to a client and it's not going to be accurate. All the changes that you made won't be updated. So go ahead and hit update link here. And then you want to go ahead and take this link, share that with clients. Again, this will be down in the description and comments so you guys can go actually rate my design and leave comments. I look forward to hearing back from you guys. I hope this video helped out a lot. I know Adobe XD can be confusing. These are all simple features that you guys can include in your first website design or your 100th website design. I showed you guys some more advanced features like overlays and things like that. In the future, we'll definitely come back and go over animations and more advanced options and features in Adobe XD. But for now, this gives you guys a solid insight into what we do at Kalman Web Design when we work with a client, and you can steal these exact procedures and steps that we use for your own designs.